Hello and welcome to Second Rate Film School. I'm Andrew Wass, and today we're continuing our conversation with Emmy-winning writer, producer, and voice actor Paul Rugg. Paul, thank you for coming back on and not changing position or clothes since the last time.
Thank you very much. I was worried that you hated me, but now we're back for more. Okay, good.
So this is part 2 of the making of Freakazoid and its legacy. So if you haven't checked out part 1, pause this, go check out the link that's in the description, and then once you watch that, come back and see this. So, without further ado, on to the show.
And now,
Et maintenant,
y ahora, our feature presentation.
et voici mon ami Gilles.
Mi mosca es muy fea.
Now, pivoting towards your time as a writer on the show, all the SPTRC shows had fantastic writers, and Freakazoid was no different, with industry greats like Tom Mitten, Alan Burnett, and Paul Dini, to name a few. But there were 3 names that appeared more often than not in the credits, that being John P. McCann, Tom Ruegger, and of course, you.
Yeah.
You wrote the most of any of them, penning 12 segments, 7 of which were full episodes. John wrote 10, with Tom writing 8. So between the 3 of you, you're credited with 30 of the 49 segments, nearly 65% of the series. The only other writer who has more than 1 or 2 credits is Paul Dini, penning 5, all of which were in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that compare to other writers' rooms you've been on before and since, and how do you think that impacted the cohesion of the show?
It was great. I mean, it was the scripts. The way I write is I'll rewrite that first page for about a week, and then it's due in 2 days. So then I sort of just start writing faster. Freakazoid was the most freeing show to write because it was, what should happen now? Oh, I have an idea. And we would just write it. Oh, I wonder what should happen. Oh, I know. I'll just do this. There was never any ever. We never had a plan. We never had an outline. We didn't know what any of the episodes were until we actually wrote them. And that is a treasure, and that's something I'll always treasure. That's sort of just from my brain, from John's brain, from Tom's brain to the page. We handed it in, and that was the show we made. And it's just not done like that at all anymore. I really don't know if I could write a Freakazoid if I had to write a page outline of what was going to happen, or because I never knew, and John never knew, and Tom certainly never knew what the episodes were all about. And a good example of that is Norm Amadeus, where you always start out with an idea, which was, oh, you know what, I'll do this old house and it'll be called This Old Freakalair. And we'll bring Norm Aberman, and Norm can help him redesign the Freakalair. And I started writing it, and I got about 2 pages in, and I go, this is poopy. This is awful. Like, I cannot sustain this for, I don't know where to go anymore. Like, how much parody can we do? And I was listening to, because every time I write, I'm always listening to music, and I was listening to the Amadeus soundtrack. And the Confutate Maledicti, and just in my brain I go, boy, what if the Loeb is Salieri and Norm is Mozart?
And it's become all too apparent I don't possess the skill necessary to build it. But I know someone who does.
Who, boys?
The world's greatest carpenter, the wizard of wood, the sultan of sawing, the monarch of molding, the duke of dado. Get me Norm Abram!
And that was my thought. And I go, well, and then I go, that's what it's going to be. So I started at page 1 again, and I go, well, now I know what I'm doing. I'm doing where the Loeb wants to be a great woodworker and blah, blah. And that's sort of how we wrote Freakazoid. It was just like stream of consciousness. We would not like anything made it to the page, but you would, as you kept going, you're like, oh, I know what can happen now, and then this can happen, and then this can happen. So another very long-winded way of saying it was very fun to write. It was a challenge. It was fun, though.
Well, the fun you had can be seen in the final product. Now, I'm not just trying to say this to flatter you because you're my guest star.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I don't care. It was fun.
Okay, fair. But no, I truly do think Freakazoid stands the test of time and is an incredibly solid series. I know of the big four SPTRC shows, they're all classics, but going back to Tiny Toons as an adult, I really don't think it holds up nearly as well. And while I love Pinky and the Brain, I think Freakazoid's creativity and humor is a noticeably of a higher quality. Then I go back and forth on whether I think Animaniacs or Freakazoid should get the #1 slot. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, no, Animaniacs is clearly the better show, but I don't know. I really do love the free-flowing nature and irreverence of Freakazoid just a bit more. I know Animaniacs is zany to the max, as the theme song would imply.
We're zany to the max, there's baloney in our slacks.
But they never did a 22-minute long parody of Amadeus starring the guy from This Old House.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's exactly what it was. And there was, as far as gatekeepers, Stephen didn't necessarily know what we were writing until we presented it to him. And there were countless times where we would say, "Hey, I want to write something like this." He go, "Nah, I don't think that's really a good idea."
What is this? Dexter gets eaten and then fade out the end? Where's Freakazoid?
Well, he's not in this episode.
Not in it. Well, he's the star of the show. What are you thinking?
Well, we were thinking of maybe ending the episode early today.
And showing some more Animaniacs reruns.
No, we can't do it.
So we didn't. But Tom would let us write, and then we'd hand it in. He'd go, "Man, this is not what I expected. It's weird." And we're like, "Yeah, I know." But yeah, the writing was so freeing. And I've never had an experience like that. I've worked at plenty of different studios where they say it's going to be like that, but they don't really mean it. They want to know, what are you going to write? You can't just go off and write your own thing. So there was a lot of trust at Warner Brothers. There was a lot of trust with Stephen. And then Stephen would read something and go, "Hey, I have an idea to plus this joke." And one of those was Jack Valenti. Because every time I would ever start an episode, I would always try to think of a weird way to start it. So in one, I decided to get Jack Valenti, who nobody knows who he is, but he was the president of the Motion Picture Association of America. He used to work for Lyndon Johnson. And I wrote that he would tell the story of the Freakazoid's origins. And then Stephen was like, and Stephen was very proud. And Stephen was like, I know Jack Valenti. And I'm like, "Oh," he goes, "and I think we can get him." And I was like, "No, I'm just joking. I don't really want him." And then he goes, "Yeah, we'll get Jack Valenti in there." And then I'm like, "Okay." And Stephen said, "And you know what you should do? Have him explain the rating system."
Now, if a family wants to see a movie and it's rated G, then everyone can go. Mom and Dad and Buffy and Jody and Grandma and Grandpa and even Sergeant Scruffy. If it's PG, then there might be something unsuitable for young or sensitive viewers, in which case Buffy will just have to stay home, along with Grandma, who didn't want to go to the movies anyway. Now, if the movie's rated PG-13, then...
Jack, we're ready for the next scene. You're gonna have to wait.
No, please, I beg you, let me finish. This is very, very important.
Later.
But...
Later.
And I was like, "Oh, but do I have to? Okay, fine." And I remember originally going, "I don't want to do this," but then I did it, and it turned out so dumb and so fun. But that was Stephen sort of saying, "I'm going to get you. You have to use Jack Valenti now. He's a friend of mine." And I'd written this line, and I was going to have Frank Welker do it, or just say, whatever. And I wrote the line, "Hello, I'm Jack Valenti, and these are my cheeks." And Jack Valenti comes in, and he starts recording the dialogue. And just before he gets to that, I go, "Oh, I was supposed to change that." But he just barreled through and goes, "Hello, I'm Jack Valenti, and these are my cheeks."
Hello, I'm Jack Valenti, and these are my cheeks.
And Jack didn't know why he was there. He just knows he got a call from Steven Spielberg to show up and record this thing. But anyway, that's sort of how Freakazoid That's sort of how we did that show. It was like, I have no idea what we're doing, but it's fun.
Well, a joke like that works on multiple levels across both age and historic knowledge. Like, yeah, as a little kid, I had no idea who Jack Valenti was, but I knew what the rating system was. And just having this random old guy break into the story at a really pivotal moment to do an overly long and drawn out explanation of the system was hilarious. And it didn't even need to be a real person for the joke to work. Look at that one gag with the network censor getting hurt over and over again. That was a fake person, and it was still funny.
Hello, kiddies. I'm the network censor. And I just want to assure our young viewers out there that no one was hurt in the previous scene. Everyone is okay. Including me. Oh.
Now, as an adult, knowing the specific person and knowing that you really got him to do the voice of himself is hysterical. Like you said, it could have easily just been Frank Welker, and the specific joke still would have worked out.
Right.
But the fact that you had the de facto chief of staff to LBJ for the majority of his presidency, a man who took part in the early stages of the Vietnam War, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, who was photographed in one of the most iconic images of the 20th century of Lyndon Johnson being sworn in on Air Force One, talking about his cheeks makes the joke 10 times funnier.
You know, we get a lot of letters here at the Motion Picture Association of America, and most of them are about my cheeks. Still, there have been a few letters asking us all about Freakazoid. Letters like this one from Miss Ida Lupins of Santa Susana City, and she writes, "Dear Mr. Valenti, I like your cheeks."
Yeah, yeah, that when Steven Spielberg is your boss or is your executive producer, he can get you some very weird people. And I think, to be honest with you, you mentioned, how do we get Tim Curry to come and play and stuff?
Who are you? What have you done to the others?
There'll be time for questions later.
No, there won't. The show's over in 10 minutes.
Well, if you hadn't wasted all that time in the plane,
You will all be my guests for dinner. I trust you're hungry. I've made a casserole.
Akbar, Ringir, Fatima, to the house, schnell!
I think having Steven as the executive producer did open a bunch of doors for us as far as having people come and sort of hang out.
Of course, being able to have the pedigree of saying you worked with Spielberg, even if it was on one of his cartoon shows, was probably enticing. And the amount of people he's worked with over the years did probably also open the door to a large slate of guest stars that most other cartoons probably wouldn't have been able to get.
Right.
Though, pivoting back to the episodes with Jack Valenti, they weren't just about his cheeks, of course. That was actually the only two-parter of the series, The Chip, which was written by Paul, which detailed the origin story of Freakazoid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this isn't technically a true two-parter, as the second episode features the segment Freakazoid is History, which has Freakazoid going back in time to prevent the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Right.
Zoids! Pearl Harbor!
Hey, those ships look like they came from World War II. Because in about 10 seconds, Pearl Harbor's gonna get trashed, thus beginning World War II, and only I can stop them! But if I do, I will alter the course of future history. Do I really want that responsibility on my shoulders? Hey, who's gonna know?
Bit heavy for a kid's show, but it did give me two of my favorite jokes of the series.
Palm trees,
Hula girls,
pineapples,
hula girls,
surfboards,
hula girls, hula girls, hula girls.
Alms for the poor, suffer the little children. Remember, you can never give enough.
Good heavens, it's Rush Limbaugh. He's become a real bleeding heart liberal.
So it's a 1.5-parter, not two-part, really.
Right.
So though that leads me to my next question. Did you intend to write this to be split up across 2 episodes, or did you write one 22-minute long episode and it was just so long and you didn't want to lose anything that you just cut it in 2?
I wrote way too much. But Tom really, really liked it. And he, rather than cut it, he decided, oh, let's just do it like this. Yeah, so that's basically what happened. We didn't mean it to be 2-parter. It was just I had diarrhea of the fingers and wrote too much. And Tom, when it came down, he goes, man, I don't want to cut too much of this. So that's how the Chip was. That's how that one was born. And was that the same one that Frank Welker came in and did the bear? Yes, it is. Probably the biggest laugh I ever had in the entire series was having Frank Welker come in and record ADR himself as the bear and as the man being mauled by the bear. And that is, if you want a tour de force and voiceover, it's watching Frank go and then roll it back and then all of a sudden do this screaming. It was, oh my gosh, so fun. So fun.
Of course, Frank Welker is a legend in the industry with over 900 credits to his name. I think what sums up his versatility as a voice actor is the fact that it's been said, if you've heard an animal sound in the last 50 plus years,
it's Frank. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, going back to the chip, this leads me to my next topic. That episode introduced us to the character of Armando Gutierrez, voiced by Ricardo Montalban. While the Lobe is traditionally seen more as Freakazoid's arch nemesis, having appeared in more episodes, I think there's a compelling argument to be made that Gutierrez is the much more dangerous and interesting foe. We see that in the chip, Gutierrez has the Douglas family kidnapped, tied up to chairs, while guards stand behind them menacingly.
Yes, he does.
Well, yes, the only explicit threat he makes is showing them the Marty Ingalls special.
Right.
Cooperate with me and no harm will come to them. But refuse me and I'll show them this. The best of Marty Ingalls.
What kind of sadistic creature are you?
Which, side note, what did he do to you guys?
Hiya, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Marty Ingalls.
Hiya, folks.
Yes, it's hilarious, and it does pull back on the intensity of the moment, but you really do get the feel that he could kill them if he wants to. Mm-hmm. Heck, it gets worse. In the season 1 finale, The Wrath of Gutierrez, he traps Freakazoid in a virtual world, depowers him, and attempts to kill him, nearly achieving it.
Yeah.
In his last solo appearance of Hero Boy, he threatens to destroy the whole world in a bid to defeat Freakazoid.
If you are not here by precisely 1 p.m., I will have Jocko, hold the camera still. I will have no choice but to immediately vaporize the entire world and everyone in it. 1 p.m., my friend. Goodbye.
While these episodes do have a ton of great jokes, like Gutierrez getting mad about getting called a weenie.
You weenie.
A weenie? You are the weenie.
You weenie.
Don't say the weenie word.
He's such a weenie.
I am not a weenie. You are the weenie.
Or him narrating the movie bloopers and so on.
Here a giant boy scours a Dutch village in search of cheese. I want cheese, cheese, my friends. This chap is new to the farm, and he thinks this is the way you milk a cow. And the funny thing is, it works.
Look, Gutierrez, we really should get back to the show now.
Oh, just one more clip. This man is giving his wife kissings and lovings when suddenly his broker calls and he has to go talk to him. Then a monkey appears and he starts to kiss the woman and she thinks it's the guy. Look out, woman, it's a monkey!
When Gutierrez gets serious, the whole show does.
Mm-hmm.
Again, back in The Wrath of Gutierrez, when Freakazoid is searching for a key to unlock the device that he's been trapped in, which will unambiguously kill him, Freakazoid isn't cracking jokes. It's treated as a serious moment.
10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, you either wrote or co-wrote, in the case of Hero Boy, all of these episodes. So what was your mindset in writing a much more fearsome villain and allowing the show and Freakazoid himself to become serious when it had to be?
I think that our decision was that we're going to have to be serious here in order to have a comedic payoff eventually. Like when he does go into the computer game, and I think, we tried to keep it pretty light, especially when he finds the bowl and goes, "I got a bowl, good for me."
A bull! I got a bull! Good for me!
But in order to get the whole Luke, I am your father thing that I think is at the end of that, and who's my mother? It's Sandy Duncan.
Freakazoid, help me!
Would you let your father fall?
My father? You're my father?
Yes, I am your father.
Well, who's my mother?
Faye Dunaway.
No, she's not.
Kay Ballard?
Kay? Nah.
Would you believe Sandy Duncan?
You have to earn that by not being crazy all the time. And that's something we really were conscious of is, there has to be, well, first of all, in the friendship between Cosgrove and Freakazoid, you really have to believe that, and you can be silly and stuff, but they have to have a bond.
What do you do when your best friend shows you the highway?
Look, Mr. F, I'm sure Cosgrove's still your buddy. He's just busy, that's all.
Sorry, Mary Beth. No dice. Yeah, I like you. I'm not ashamed to say it, but that's my buddy in there. And what you're asking me to do walks on the wrong side of the law.
Come on, buddy. Let's get out of here.
And I think the same way with some of the villains, it had to have a bite, which is why I think Ricardo was my favorite villain, because we were able to really play that. But then, at the end, just be all like stupid about it.
Good job, kid. But how come you didn't go after Gutierrez?
Don't worry. He's getting what he deserves.
Yes, it goes.
Be quiet!
Yes, it goes.
Be quiet!
Yes.
Be quiet! Stop it! No more!
I'm glad you brought that up, because that was a conscious decision to keep the threat there in order to make the comedy breaks bigger.
It's actually funny because in some episodes, you'd see the situation was so crazy and Freakazoid became so overwhelmed by it that he became the straight man.
Yeah.
He got out crazy.
You want to see something strange and mystical?
No! Get out of here with that watch! Lay off the poor beavers, will you? Jeez! You're a creep! Go away! We're having a good time until you showed up, jeepers!
With this atomic demolecularizer, I can turn anyone into a clown zombie, trained to do my bidding.
Why?
The perfect plan. Everyone loves a clown. There's a knock on the door. It's a clown. You let it in. The next thing you know, they've taken over for me.
Well, if you don't mind me saying so, that is the stupidest plan I've ever heard of.
Challenge me!
Mr. Camera Guy, zip pan to the next scene.
No! The other scene! Am I working alone here?
Thank you.
The aliens may bring to us the wisdom of the universe.
I am Moron. I come with an important message for all mankind.
And what is that message?
I am Moron.
We can pretty much rule out the wisdom of the universe.
Which is just a really funny situation to see.
Yeah. No, I mean, we, when I wrote, especially a lot of times, I was always given the better lines to not to Freakazoid. While I was interested in Freakazoid and stuff, I was like, man, I got David Warner here. I got Ricardo Montalban. I got Tim Curry. I want them to shine. Knowing that Freakazoid will have his moment, but I never cared about Freakazoid being the craziest thing there. I was much more interested in having Tim Curry be absolutely insane.
Using the likes of Freakazoid, Cave Guy, The Lobe, Leonard Moulton, there'll be no stopping me! I'll build a private army of super apes and take over Cleveland!
Don't you mean the world?
I meant the world, yes. What did I say? Cleveland? I always do that.
Why didn't you do that before we got down here? I'll deal with you all shortly. Sparkle has to tinker.
So that was a conscious decision on my part too. I did know I found him less interesting in a room full of Ricardo Montalban and Tim Currys. I'm like, nope, they're gonna win, or they're gonna have more fun.
I mean, that's probably the best inclination to have when you're working with such legendary actors. Tim Curry is famous for his over-the-top performances, so why not let him go all the way?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have Ricardo Montalban, who's more well-known for his stoic and serious performances, and you just have him delivering the funniest lines in the series just by having him scream weenie over and over again.
Yeah. Don't call me the weenie word. No. You big weenie. Hey, any show that can have Ricardo Montalban say, "Don't say the weenie word," I think you've done your job. I think that's it.
Exactly, and I think having a classy actor do such goofy lines lends to making it that much funnier versus if you just had a random voice actor do it. It's that line of thinking that actually makes Jonathan Harris my favorite guest star of this show.
I am Professor Jones. Ingmar and I are old friends. I offer to fill in.
Weren't you on a TV show with a robot?
Never mind.
Well, if Ingmar says you're okay, I guess you're okay. Anyway, this is the Freakalair. I hope you're as handy as Ingmar. He built the whole place from scratch.
Don't expect me to construct anything more complicated than a jelly sandwich.
Well, yes, he is on Freakazoid's side. All his humor comes from how cowardly and self-serving he is.
Look, Jonesy, you just got to get to know Cosgrove. He's okay.
He's a brute. He hates me. I try to make things nice, and what's my reward? To be spat upon like an old hound?
Aw, nut bunnies!
I slave away all this time, never once taking a vacation.
It's your first day!
Hero boy indeed. Bad Japanese animation, that's what it is.
Hey, I like that show.
Don't get me started. Oh, this videotape just arrived. The messenger said it was urgent.
Put it in.
I would, but my back, it's rather delicate today. Cosgrove, do you see any monsters?
Yeah, there's one.
Where?
Just kidding.
I loathe you.
No. Orange juice. I want orange juice.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Hey, jerkface. This ain't no chicken. I wants chicken.
Chicken, yes, chicken. I'll...
These peanuts are stale.
No!
Hey! Leave Professor Jones alone. He's doing the best he can. Come on, Jonesy.
Oh, dear. Leave me alone! Help!
Like, he sells Steph's frozen body for the most banal of reasons.
Freakazoid! Cosgrove, wait! Oh, Fibber McGee. Why do I have to push Steph around? And me with my back so delicate.
Wow, man. Cool.
No! A cannibal!
Chill, man. Did you sculpt this yourself? The detail is, like, awesome.
Yes, well, I'd hate to sell her, but, you see, I've suffered unexpected reverses, and I'm willing to entertain all reasonable offers. Buy me an espresso. Do you have any cash on you?
Yeah. Well, see, I was, and John McCann was, I still am, a huge Lost in Space fan. Huge. When I was a kid, you know, I get on Friday nights, I was allowed to watch TV, and it was all reruns. So I would get home like at 3:00 on a Friday, and I was glued to that TV because I knew it was going to be Lost in Space, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and Jonathan Harris, it was such a perfect character. He's so awful and so fun, but what a horrible human being.
Indeed. From the first time I set eyes on that boy, I knew he was a savage.
Statement. If my programming is correct, he is much to be admired. He has principles.
And I have not? Is that what you're implying?
Do you insist on an answer?
At once!
And you will not remove my power pack if I speak the truth?
Just answer the question.
Then I choose silence.
Oh, you do you?
And when John and I decided in the second season, because Tom went off then to sort of do Road Rovers, and we decided, man, we need to give him like someone to further complicate his life. So we decided it would be Jonathan Harris. And we wrote this amazing letter, this dear Mr. Harris, we are not even fans. We adore your work, blah, blah. And it was this huge letter. And we gave it to Andrea Romano. She goes, what's this for? We go, well, we really want to get Jonathan Harris. She goes, Jonathan Harris he'll just come because you pay him. Like, you don't need this. But we said, well, send it anyway. And Jonathan he had a great time too. And he ultimately, during the Freakazoid experience, and he knew we were having problems with the network. And Jonathan had a mouth like a sailor, so I won't say what he said, but he would, oh, Paul, my boy, I just F them, Paul, because they don't know. We are the artists, my friend. We are the artists. They are the bean counters. And he would do this with John and I. He would take us to lunch at, there was a restaurant called Mistral on Ventura Boulevard in Studio City. And Jonathan would hold court there, and we would sit there. Come in, my boys. I want to tell you about the industry. Oh, they're terrible. And Jonathan became just in fact, I have well, you can't even see it, but I got a picture of Jonathan up there. And he would do cons on the weekend. We didn't know what a con was. Like, nobody knew what a con was back then. I mean, yeah, there was Comic-Con. But he'd say, this weekend, I'm going to be at the Hollywood Science Fiction Fair. And I'm going to go with my little box of money and all of my little pictures and make quite a bit of money, Paul. And we would sometimes, John and I would show up and be like, hi, Jonathan. He goes, hello, my friends. Jonathan was so fun, such a fun guy. And he loved it. He loved Freakazoid. He goes, this is insanity, what you boys are doing with this show. It's wonderful. Yeah, he had a great time.
Well, it's great to hear that he loved it and the relationship with his fans as well. I'm actually always really surprised to know that he was only in 6 episodes. He felt like a much more prominent character on the show.
Yeah.
Alas, another reason why we should have gotten a 3rd season, I suppose.
Yeah. No, he had a wonderful time. And he was flying off every couple days to Northern California to do Manny, the grasshopper in A Bug's Life.
You know what this is? This, my friends, is false advertising.
How dare you? You, sir, are the charlatan in this scenario, touting your wares as a talent scout, preying upon the hungry souls of hapless artistes. Good day to you, sir.
And he would come back and go, I'm just working with this man named John Lasseter. I don't really know anything about him. I'm having a wonderful time, though. And the checks are clearing. Jonathan was so fun. Jonathan was great.
It's funny that you mentioned his involvement with the conventions back in the day, because one of my favorite episodes is Season 2's Freaka panel.
I think it was a big mistake to run in here. This is frightening behavior in adults. I hope none of them touches me. No, go away! Oh dear, a Klingon English dictionary. You've made up a little language based on a TV show. That's not right.
It's a nice little time capsule of 1990s comic conventions, as well as showing us a nice view of your gallows humor about Freakazoid standing with the Kids WB.
Yeah.
At one point in the episode, Freakazoid is at a Kids WB panel, and the audience couldn't care less about him or any of the other shows, instead asking inane questions about the then brand new Superman the Animated Series. It's hilarious, but also depressing.
Yes.
Any questions about the Freakazoid show? Yes?
Will Superman fight a bunch of French people this year?
Not necessarily. I mean, I don't know. It's not my show. Yes?
If Superman fought Fred Flintstone, who would win?
I would guess Superman, unless Barney Rubble snuck up and hit him with a kryptonite club or something. Any questions about Freakazoid? Yes?
How many Freakazoid episodes will Superman be in?
I'm getting fed up with all these Superman questions. Why don't you just ask Paul Dini? Okay, that does it. Anyone interested in Freakazoid, stay. The rest of you, get lost.
So that bit came out of John and I were I think it was before, maybe it was during Freakazoid, I forget, but we were invited to go to Comic-Con. I don't think we had started our second season yet. And we were in this, like, not room H, we were in like room 322 that held maybe 40 people, and it was for the Freakazoid panel. And I kid you not, there were maybe 10 people there. So that always left a burning memory for John McCann, who then wrote the whole "If Superman with the white Barney Rubble, who would win?" So that's sort of where that came from. Most things on Freakazoid happened like that. Remember that thing that happened to us? Just put that in the show. So yeah.
Well, I hope you didn't have run-ins with any real-life fanboys.
Wow, that was terrific! I can't wait to go on adventures with you all the time!
Please leave me alone! I'll give you anything you want if you'll just go away!
How about the just written script of Batman 4? Plucked it off the internet last night.
An autographed photo of Stan Lee?
Who's that?
No idea. How about your very own Harlan Ellison?
You can't buy me off. No matter what happens, I'll always be your fanboy.
No, we didn't. No. Now we might, but no, we didn't have them then.
Now, all the SPTRC shows had really good shots at the overly obsessive comic/nerd pop culture fans.
In the newsreel opening, it says the Warners were created in 1930, but to have a 65th anniversary show in 1994 means they were created in 1929. And in Yakko's world, Tibet is not technically a country. On cookies for Einstein, E equals MC squared is not the relativity formula, it is the mass energy conversion formula. And the numbers in that Yakko's Universe song are so wrong, it's hardly enjoyable. And in the theme song, it's pay or play contracts, not pay for play.
Is this you? Are you happily engrossed in inconsequential cartoon trivia to the point that your socks can probably stand up by themselves? Well, if you are, there's hope, there's help, there's the Please, Please, Please Get a Life Foundation.
Quick, up the back!
In the cartoon, The Amazing Three, there was a slight flutter on Fifi's face in scene C-43, and I wanted to know if that was a deliberate in-joke or just a mistake. And when is Fifi gonna get her own series?
But I think Fanboy was actually the best out of them because he was given a little bit more development and allowed to be an actual character.
Scratch one, sycophant!
I hate to tell ya, but you already used that trick to escape the Venusian Moon Goons in the Heck Bent for Sparky episode.
Look, little guy, get this through your Clearasil-soaked head. I don't need another sidekick.
But every hero needs a sidekick to assist in the battle against crime, to uphold the truth, and most important, to handle the overflow babes. Roof, yowza. Hey, you freak! Thanks.
Help me! I can't let that happen.
Who played him?
He was played by Stephen Furst, best known for playing Flounder in Animal House.
Oh boy, is this great!
Yeah, he was, that was another, he did that amazingly well.
Now, as we just alluded to, by the second season, Freakazoid was in the shadow of basically all the other Kids WB shows. One of those would have been Pinky and the Brain, which, side note, I always assumed that was a much older show, probably because it was tied to the older sister series of Animaniacs, but the standalone series actually premiered the same date as Freakazoid, September 9th, 1995.
Take a memo.
Introducing TV's newest comedy duo, Pinky and the Brain.
Yes.
They're two small lab mice with one big plan.
Try to take over the world.
Fortunately for us, they're not very good at it. The primetime world premiere of Pinky and the Brain, followed by Sister Sister Sunday.
So Pinky and the Brain had already been a part of Animaniacs, but as they were going to do the WB, then it was going to be like their Simpsons, and so yeah, that was at the same time. Yep, and Peter Hastings was given a whole primetime staff, and I don't think he enjoyed it as much because when the word prime time was used, all of a sudden it became very like, well, what's your idea? It became very
serious,
not as free as it had been.
That's an interesting dynamic change that I think most people not in the industry wouldn't think of as being at play there. Now, the reason though I bring up the premiere date is going in, I assume you knew compared to the other SPTRC shows that you would have the most sluggish of the ratings in fall of 1995. Animaniacs had already been on for several seasons and was a proven hit.
Mm-hmm.
And while, yes, Pinky and the Brain was a brand new show technically, they had already had 18 solo appearances on the original series.
Mm-hmm.
So both were known commodities compared to Freakazoid being the new kid on the block. So while you couldn't have expected to have the ratings from the start that they did, was there a moment early on where you realized, oh, this isn't picking up the same amount of steam that we need, or did that come much later on?
I think that no, we didn't care. I mean, to be honest with you, it was like we were real proud of it. It was really crazy. Steven was really happy.
Wacko, what are you doing? We're kind of in the middle of something here.
Oh, it's okay. Steven loves it when we do stuff like this. After all, Animaniacs is his favorite.
Sorry to break this to you, Wacko, but if I'm not mistaken, Freakazoid is Steven's favorite show. We got a memo.
I believe you're both mistaken. It is the sophisticated wit and charm of Pinky and the Brain that has captured Steven's heart, as well as making it the breakaway hit of the WB schedule.
Well, why don't we just go find out?
Now, what's this about?
First of all, Steven, thank you very much for taking the time to meet with us. We realize you're very busy, and...
Oh, just ask him.
We were just wondering, who's your favorite?
Who are you people?
And so I don't remember ever knowing what the ratings were or how we were doing. Slowly into writing, like especially the second season after we'd had a meeting with the network and with Steven, and they were like, yeah, I think maybe we should do half hours. But we never had a sense that we weren't doing well or that we were even worried about it. It was like, hey, this is awesome. Isn't this great? Like our show's on the air and we're having a great time. I don't remember ever consciously being worried about it or being like, shoot, we're really not doing that great. I don't think we ever stressed about it.
It's interesting. And I just asked because you were doing a lot of jokes about like no one caring about the show, like in Freaka Panel, which could either be self-deprecating humor about Superman taking the limelight or gallows humor about your longevity on air.
Yeah, well, I think that we were always always enjoyed doing very self-referential stuff, calling it out. But I mean, I think we knew we weren't certainly not as popular as the others, but we didn't. I don't think we were concerned. We were like, oh, this is funny. We should do the thing where like no one wants to talk about Freakazoid. Wouldn't that be funny? Yeah. So, but obviously we weren't doing very, very well. But in that, it was funny. In that, it really gave us a little bit more freedom in the second season anyway, where besides Steven reading it and being happy, I don't even think the network read one script. I really don't. They were like, no, we're going to cancel this thing anyway, so what do we care? But yeah.
Now, you talked about the network not liking the series. Was there any interference from them, or until the plug was pulled, did you have free reign?
One of their ideas was the reason they weren't digging Freakazoid, it felt too disjointed, small stories. And they said in second season, they're all going to be half-hour stories. And we were like, all right. but we had no intention on changing the way we're going to tell the story. But I felt that just really kind of freed us up to be even weirder, which is just kind of fun. I mean, that's where the Hello Dolly number comes out.
Oui, bonjour, Lovey, we're so pleased that you've come back. We have to scream, ah! We see your veins, Lovey, and your brains, Lovey, undulating, calculating for you.
That's actually interesting that you mentioned that was a point of contention for them, because, yeah, while Tiny Toons and Pinky and the Brain more often than not either followed the 1 22-minute or 2 11-minute long segments.
Right.
Meanwhile, season 1 of Freakazoid was basically in line with Animaniacs. Now, I didn't clock the time of all the Animaniacs segments, but they did have their fair share of short segments, like Wheel of Morality.
It's time to learn the day's lesson. And to find out what it is, we turn to the Wheel of Morality.
Randy Beeman.
Okay, so see, one time Randy Beeman's mom's best friend, whose name is Linda, wanted to get a tan more than anything. So she went to a tanning salon and she stayed in too long and she boiled her guts. Okay, bye.
Good idea, bad idea.
It's time for another good idea, bad idea. Good idea. Climbing a mountain. Bad idea. Climbing a mountain lion.
And then just generic little vignettes of the Warners running around the lot causing havoc. All of those were just as, if not shorter, than the Freakazoid segments.
Right.
So we get to season 2, and all those side segments are gone. All the side characters are gone. And even short bits with Freakazoid, like Conversational Norwegian, or the Sidekick Chronicles, or Heroes Who Lunch, or gags like him meeting Moron, or the Villain Brain Surgery segment, are no longer present.
Yeah.
Instead, basically only having one 22-minute long story.
Mhm.
This dynamic shift is even called out in Freaka Panel, which, given how much I'm talking about, maybe is the most pivotal episode of the series.
Yeah.
Where Freakazoid runs into the season 1 characters, i.e. Lord Bravery, the Huntsman, and so on, and they flat out ask him what happened to their position on the show, and he just admits they were fired.
Hi guys. What a surprise.
How come you fired us off the show?
Actually, what the Huntsman is trying to say is that he and I and Fanboy and Moron or Boron, whatever, were simply curious as to precisely our role in the new season.
Didn't you guys get a letter from the producers?
I never got any letter. I live in the woods.
None of us saw any letter. Please, Freakazoid, could you tell us just what exactly we'll be working on?
I missed a spot. Darn the luck. Darn.
Well, at least they're still on the payroll.
I mean, yeah, it's a bit depressing that you guys were just so frank about your mistreatment by the network, but it is also really, really funny that you guys are just blatantly airing your grievances out like that.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing too was we didn't care too much what the executives thought. So if we wanted to call it out in a script, we just did it. Like, well, I've been fired. How come you never call me anymore? And that was John McCann's idea, to just sort of write all that stuff. Because, like I said, we were trying to make Steven laugh. We were trying to make us laugh. And after it went to the network, we could have cared less. We didn't care what they thought. Which ultimately probably we should have cared, but then maybe not. I don't know. Never mind. We shouldn't have.
Naturally go back and forth on whether the show was improved or hurt by the removal of these segments. I mean, it's hard to know for sure because outside of Lord Bravery or the Huntsman, all those characters only got one segment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like trying to judge the Good Feathers or Slappy the Squirrel based off of one segment.
Right.
So from your perspective as a writer, was there even one segment that you go, boy, I really wish we could have kept doing that in the second season? Or was the show all the better for them being cut?
I don't remember being too terribly upset with it. I mean, John came up with the Huntsman.
What's up, Lieutenant King? The lobe back in town? Cave guy?
Sorry, Huntsman, false alarm. Some dumb rookie was screwing around with the horn of urgency. I chewed him out real good.
Darn!
What can I say, Huntsman? Crime is still down. I'm lucky to have a job.
Darn the luck, darn! Well, maybe I'll go to the all-night aquarium.
Aquariums are supposed to be very relaxing.
I like watching the polyfish. They're so comical.
And I came up with Lord Bravery.
Nigel, the tea!
Nigel! Ow! I thought he was impervious to pain.
I am impervious to... Do I take it the ficus hurled at my head was meant as some sort of signal?
The tea's ready.
Then get it.
Well, you are up, darling.
Oh, yes, let me get the tea. I'd hate to see either of you actually have to walk the 3 feet into this frightening, mysterious new world we call a kitchen. You might get lost or attacked by the dishwasher. Your tea?
You forgot the sugar.
Most people your age die. Why won't you?
And I remember we both really enjoyed those characters. I really enjoyed writing them. And I know John really had a great time with the Huntsman. But I don't remember being like, oh man, when they were like kind of fired. I don't remember being too terribly upset. It was like, well, all right, fine. Because yeah, I mean, there were so many other opportunities to have fun that it was like, oh, well, we had fun with them for 2 shows and stuff. But I don't remember being horribly disappointed. So
I think Lord Bravery and the Huntsman probably could have been integrated into the main series as allies to Freakazoid, a la his version of the Justice League, or, just how on Animaniacs they would occasionally have the other characters guest star in the main Warner segments. That being said, in terms of just being standalone segments, I think Lord Bravery and Toby Danger probably stood the best chance of being really good segments.
Yeah.
Characters like the Huntsman are, of course, really funny, but I think it's best as basically a one-off joke.
Yeah.
Both of his segments are the same. There's no crime for him to stop. It's really dead in the city, and he just goes home. It's the same thing with Fat Man and Blubber Boy. They're overweight superheroes who just really want to eat.
Fat man, fat man, fat man, boy blubber, and fat man.
You know, Louie, we're on the road a lot. And sometimes we miss meals and we end up eating fast food and snacks. As we speed off to defend our fellow overweight friends from the torment and taunting of twisted villains like those 2 hoodlums you just faced.
Your point is?
My point, Louie? Ha ha ha! My point? My point is, do you have another delicious and yummy sweet bun in there?
Hey, let go!
Come on, Louie, let me just check.
Now, both are really funny in execution, but I don't know how you turn that into a successful reoccurring segment. Though again, in fairness, if Chicken Boo only appeared once on Animaniacs, I'm sure you could have said the same thing.
Are you decent? Boo Rishnikov, what's it like to be the toast of New York City?
Burishnikov, rumor has it you defected from your country to join the NYC Ballet. Is it true?
Rumor also has it you're a giant chicken. Is that true?
On the other hand, Lord Bravery and Toby Danger seem ripe for more material. With Lord Bravery, you just have a really pathetic superhero who just keeps getting shit on by the world, and it's just hilarious to watch him have to deal with it.
Fear not, my good woman. Lord Smoke, Meats and Fishes has arrived.
Hang on, where do you think you're going?
To save your son.
Not with a name like that, you're not. Get away!
No, it's all right.
Please, get away from my boy!
No, look, it's all right. My real name is Lord Bravery.
Who's Lord Bravery?
Well, I am.
Could I have a muffin or a scone?
And Toby Danger is a spot-on parody of Johnny Quest or any of the other lesser-remembered action-adventure shows of the 1960s like Clutch Cargo or Space Ghost and so on. These 2 easily could have been the Slappy the Squirrel or Pinky and the Brain of Freakazoid if given the chance to shine.
Yeah, I mean the Lord Bravery was fun because basically we were doing Faulty Towers without as a superhero.
Manuel!
Yes, Faulty Towers, hello. I was just doing it, you stupid woman. I just put it down to come here to be reminded by you to do what I'm already doing. I mean, what is the point of reminding me to do what I'm already doing? I mean, what is the bloody point? I'm doing it.
Basil Fawlty as a superhero. So there would have been a lot of opportunities for that. And I don't know why we didn't do more Toby Dangers, but I'm glad we did one because that one was all Tom Minton and Mitch Schauer and Tom Ruger just throwing every Hanna-Barbera they could at it. And I think that was a really wonderful piece.
That Toby Danger segment is just top-notch across the board. Even if you don't know what it's specifically lampooning, it's still hilarious. It's a family of adventurers who are a bunch of idiots who do more damage than the villain does.
These anti-gravity sidewalk slabs are really cool, Pop. Did you invent them to replace cars?
No, Toby. They were a byproduct of the meltdown of your adopted sister Sandra's hometown.
It's okay, Dr. D. I didn't lose a hometown. I gained a family.
You've got a good head on your shoulders, Sandra.
With a really cool 60s flair to it. And if you do know that specifically parodying Johnny Quest, it makes it that much funnier. It's a love letter to that show, with the style being spot on, even going as far as to have the characters outlined in thick black lines like Doug Wildley's style on the series. There was also a contemporaneous example of another series doing this style that shows how easily it could have been more than just a one-off. The 1998 episode of The Angry Beavers, The Day the World Got Really Screwed Up. You can see a lot of the same design choices and sense of humor with the lampooning of a similar time period media, 1950s B-movies. So yeah, I'm bummed that neither of these segments got more attention, but I'm glad we got the ones we did.
Yeah.
Well, we've tap danced around it long enough. All good things must come to an end, and that includes Freakazoid. We get to the final episode titled Normadeus, which, congrats on giving the kids what they want, an Amadeus parody. This one's actually probably one of the odder episodes of the series, and that's saying something, because there's actually long stretches of the show without Freakazoid in it. That aside, it's brilliantly funny, and despite not being an actor, Norm Abrams is still hilarious.
When I became a carpenter, I took an oath. I promised to only use my skills for the forces of good.
We'll just see about that. Beautiful, isn't it? Milled from the finest birch. Not a flaw, not one imperfection. Absolutely perfect. It really would be quite a shame if something unsavory happened to it. Eh, Norm? Huh?
All right, I'll do it.
I knew you'd see it my way.
You're an evil man.
You're too kind. Take him to the workshop.
And it's nice seeing all the major villains show up together for the ultimate plot to destroy Freakazoid.
Gutierrez! I don't think I've ever had the pleasure of being in an episode with you before.
No. I usually like to be the star. But in this case, I have made an exception.
Glad you did. Have a party hat.
The show even ends with Freakazoid thanking the audience for watching, while every major character from the series, and even Steven Spielberg himself, shows up to sing, I'm pretty sure, the entirety of We'll Meet Again, thus closing out the series.
We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the
the folks that I know, tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. Everybody!
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Now, even though House of Freakazoid is my favorite episode, and Wrath of Gutierrez is the highest rated episode, I think this might be the best episode of the series because it has such an irreverent send-off for such an irreverent series.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, we didn't want to be canceled, but we knew, I think halfway through the second season when we were writing it, it was over. Because the WB wasn't necessarily digging what we were doing. And it was kind of difficult because on the one hand, the WB that had us on, they kept changing our time slot and whatever. But Steven was just digging it. He was like, man, this is the dumbest thing ever. I'm having a good time. So he was happy. We were happy. WB wasn't so happy. But so by the time I wrote Norma Deus, I wrote that knowing we were dead, which allowed me to just, do whatever. I mean, for goodness sake, we hired Norm Abram from This Old House. So we knew we were dead. Yeah.
Now, something to note here. Right before the end of the episode, Freakazoid thanks the audience for watching and specifically says this is the last episode of the season, not series.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our last new show of the season.
Now, you said you had a pretty good idea the show was going to be canceled while writing it. Did you leave that line in because there was still not a confirmation, or was it a creative choice to leave it in?
Oh, we knew. We knew that we weren't gonna be, but we thought maybe there would be someone out there that would take it. And I know that was Steven's, goal, that it goes somewhere else. But that didn't stop us from really caring and being like, I really want this script to work. And yeah, and then when we won the Emmy, I remember we just felt so great because we just were like, to the WWE, we won and you didn't. They canceled it anyway.
Well, it goes to show you that these fancy schmancy suits at Warner Brothers know nothing. You look at the last 30 years of creative decisions they've been making, and it proves it.
No, they really don't. They really don't.
So every single joke you made at their expense was well-deserved. And that being said, I will never be able to get a job at Warner Brothers now.
Well, you might, because look, there's seasons, right? There's a time when you're on top, and then you make mistakes, and you're on the bottom, and then it just is going to take the right sort of person to come back in. And but the other thing that people never really consider is when we were doing Animaniacs, Freakazoid, Pinky and the Brain, it was more for Warner Brothers to have a feather in their cap that they were making shows with Steven Spielberg. No one ever really said, oh, this is a profit center. In fact, I believe Warner Brothers lost money. But it was, look, we're winning Emmys, we're making shows with Steven Spielberg, and that was palatable to Warner Brothers. But then sometime after, the mid 90s, maybe 97, it was like, no, we have to make a lot of money. And one of the things that did that was Pokemon came out, and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And they did start really cutting into, they were making, Pokemon just really made a ton of money. And that's when everyone says, oh, wait a minute, you mean this can be profitable? We can make a lot of money. So let's now do all these other things. And that's when I left. I was like, yeah, I don't know.
That's actually a very interesting point, because around this time, you can see the shift in what was on Kids WB, or at least what they were heavily promoting on it.
You may have superpowers, but I've got super style.
And that's going to help you win a battle. How?
You're watching the Pokemon Battle for the Badge on Kids WB.
Kids WB is secretly replacing Sylvester's favorite yellow snack with another yellow creature. Can he tell the difference?
Ooh, that would be a yes.
The Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries, except no substitutes, today on Kids WB.
Kids WB presents the Pokemon Battle for the Badge with Superman versus Team Rocket's Jessie.
No one messes with the Jess. Wheezing, sludge attack.
Now you've got that super stooge.
Oh, I think he's gonna super crush.
Super wind attack now.
Looks like Team Rocket's blowing away again.
And the match goes to Superman.
Stay tuned for more of the Pokemon Battle for the Badge.
Wow, what's that?
It's Potion Week.
It's one of the most perplexing mysteries in the Pokemon world.
5 full days of the best evolutionary episodes.
And we're gonna be there to catch all of them.
Pokemon Evolution Week begins this Monday afternoon on Kids WB.
While I'm like, show me more Freakazoid and Animaniacs, please. Well, yes, shows with zany and cartoonish humor still were being shown on Kids WB and still are being made to this day. I really do think we peaked with the zany, wacky, bouncing off the walls cartoons of the SPTRC era. So where does that leave us? Well, the show was over, and only a few years later, the last of the reruns on Cartoon Network would stop airing.
Oh no.
Luckily, that wasn't the last of Freakazoid, because in 2020, Paul would reprise the role of Freakazoid in the Teen Titans Go episode Hugbees.
Hugbees! Hugbees! Hugbees!
Which saw the Teen Titans pulling Freakazoid out of the Warner Brothers archive to help them defeat their villain, who has teamed up with the Lobe. The episode is chock full of references to the series, with cameos from Cosgrove and Joe Leahy.
I'd like you to meet Joe Leahy. He's my announcer.
Hello.
What? We don't need an announcer. Everybody needs an announcer, don't they, Joe?
Indeed they do, Freakazoid.
Isn't he awesome?
Fine, but he better not interfere.
Don't mind me. I'll be slightly off camera the entire time.
As well as the previously mentioned Lobe, all voiced by their respective voice actors, with this being one of the last performances of David Warner and Ed Asner, who've both since passed away.
What'd you order, Cosgrove?
A Bismarck.
Isn't that the same thing as a Long John?
No. A Bismarck is a round-shaped donut. A Long John is shaped like a rectangle.
Oh, got it, okay. So it's kind of like a maple bar.
Yeah, but on the East Coast, maple bars are called Long Johns too.
I'll admit, when I first heard about this crossover, I was not excited. But in my defense, when you look at most of the 80s and 90s revivals that were happening around this time, they were pretty bad. They were cynically done with no real heart behind it, and no real desire to actually do anything except for cashing in on nostalgia.
Keeping myself fit and, my updated modern look.
Don't you think you'd have more fans here if Chip did these events with you?
I hadn't thought about him in a while. I should give him a call. See how life's treating him.
Life is the worst. Which is why you need good insurance.
This, though, was really good. The humor is spot on to Freakazoids, right down to its gallows humor of its place within the Warner Brothers hierarchy, with it being shown that it was about to be thrown into the incinerator by the studio.
Yeah.
Yo, what's about Freakazoid?
Yes, baby!
Oh, that's a great idea!
Which, given the fact it's not streaming anywhere and the DVDs are long out of print, it is painfully accurate.
Yeah.
Now, how were you approached to do this episode, and did you have any creative input in it?
So I was working on Earth to Ned for Henson, and we were having long recording days of like 8-hour days of filming this puppet show, which I had a great time doing.
Cornelius, I think I've been having dreams. Since we arrived on Earth, I've had strange hallucinations while I sleep. I thought it was brain parasites.
Ooh, brain parasites are very nasty, sir. They devoured half my frontal lobe before I even realized
But it turns out I don't have them. I have dreams.
Disney has since taken it off, but it was really fun. It was really, really a lot of fun. And I would talk all day and I would lose my voice. And then I got a call from someone at Warner Brothers who said they were he said, hey, we want to have a Freakazoid episode. And would I agree to that? And I go, well, of course, yeah. I mean, sounds fun. And they said, do you want us to send you a script? Would you like to do any punch up? And I said, yeah. I mean, why don't you send me a script? So they sent me a script, and I just sort of freakazoided it a little bit. I added some things, just little freakazoid moments. But obviously, and I forget his name, which isn't great, but the guy that wrote it and produced it was a fan. So he really sort of teed it up to be a lot of fun. And I got to do it, write some things for it. Then when it came time to record, my voice was so thrashed as Ned. I found that to be the hardest part. Was like, man, what does Freakazoid sound like? Right? I mean, he sort of sounds like me, but then he does really sort of silly other things. So I remember driving to the session, just trying to remember what Freakazoid sounded like. But it was fun. I mean, it was a nice homage, as they say in the industry. My biggest regret is that I didn't stick around, or we didn't record. I didn't get to see Ed, because Ed came in another day, and David actually did his from London, but that I wasn't able to be there for that part of it. I just came in and did my thing. As I sort of said, it was like in the new way of doing things, you just come do your lines. And so I really regret that I wasn't able to hang out with David and Ed, who have since passed. But yeah.
So for the time being, that's the last of Freakazoid. And given the fact we're in a massive shakeup in the industry and whatever the hell Warner Brothers keeps doing in general, I don't think a reboot is completely impossible, but it's a lot less likely to happen now than a few years ago. So this brings us to the mother of all questions, the one that I'm sure you're asked in every single interview, one that is so cliche I was tempted to not ask it, but it's my show, so I kind of gotta do it. We're now nearly 30 years removed from the premiere of the show, nearly 30 years removed from the show's cancellation, and it's more popular than ever. So what do you think about the legacy of this series and its fan devotion all these years later?
I think that that it's nice to know that just screwing around, being hired to write and be silly, and have to not be pestered by executives, and to just do what you think is funny. It's sort of been validated that we were doing some really funny stuff, and I'm really glad that people liked it. I'm glad that they liked the stuff that they didn't understand when they were kids, and they have since gone, oh my gosh, that's a parody of the Crawling Eye. I can't believe it.
What did you say? I tell you it's foggy. Cloud or something. Hey, wait a minute. There's someone coming.
Unog! What is taking you so long?
I can't see anything. It's all cloudy and spooky and so on. Wait a moment. I think there's someone here in the cloud peeking at me and so on.
Who is it, Jim? The abominable snowman? I tell you there's someone coming. I can't see a thing. Who is it? Who is it? No!
Jim! Hello? Yes? Who are you? What is that you're holding? No! No! Stay back! Put that down! No! 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 Hang on, Unag! Oh!
You idiot, we nearly had him. Why did you let him go?
Didn't you see
What
him?
are you talking about?
His head! It was torn off!
Stupid dummy head! Why did you drop him? His wife will be furious!
His face! He looked like a clown!
So it's just kind of happy that people, are dig that sort of silly. So that makes me happy.
I mean, it was a gateway drug to the most random parts of pop culture.
Yeah,
No, for real. Like I said, this movie introduced me to both Ed Wood the movie and Ed Wood the filmmaker.
Yeah.
Again, House of Freakazoid is my favorite episode, and as a little kid, I didn't know specifically about the Wolfman. Like, I knew the concept of werewolves, and I knew some of the iconography of the Lon Chaney Universal Wolfman through things like that one Full House episode.
Drinks? I told you they'd be scared.
We were scared of you, not the movie.
Something's gonna happen. I can tell because the music's getting scarier.
All right, you girls all know that this is just make-believe, right?
Yeah.
You women okay? Good, all right.
Also, for some reason, the 1990s had a really big push on the Universal monsters.
Visit your local video retailer and ask for the Universal Studios Monsters Classic Collection. Classic monster titles with a haunting new look at a price to die for.
Nasty weather got your little monsters uptight. Make it a blockbuster night. Blockbuster has something for everyone. Even the fussiest little beasts settle down to enjoy Blockbuster.
Nice costume. I'm so scared.
Universal Studios Monsters are on the loose. You can get one toy and glow-in-the-dark sticker inside every Kids Club meal at Burger King.
Wow, really nice costume.
What? No dip? For a really great Halloween, pick up tons of Pepsi and Doritos.
I don't know why they did it, but I miss it, and I want it back so badly. So yeah, I had never seen the Wolfman before, but I still love this episode for a couple reasons. One, it's just hilarious to see Freakazoid beating the hell out of the Wolfman. Like, poor Lonnie Talbot, he came to Freakazoid for help.
You don't understand.
Please stop saying that.
Years ago, I was bitten by a werewolf. Ever since, when the full moon rises, I turn into a wolf myself. I do horrible things, then wake up the next morning without my shoes and socks. I came to see you, Dexter Douglas, because I know you also change. I thought that if I knew how Freakazoid changed back and forth, that I might be able to end this terrible...
He did not do anything to warrant this punishment.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Freakalair. Hold still, Lonnie. I think this will free you of your terrible curse.
Lon, there you go. You look like a shaved terrier. Voila!
And two, just the fact that the werewolf is such a ferocious creature that's so strong and violent, can rip you apart, is reduced to like a whimpering, crying mess because Freakazoid is so crazy. It's just comedy gold.
I'm gonna dump you into cyberspace, Lon. I think the shock might cure you, or not, but what the heck? Remember, this isn't going to hurt me in the least. Incoming! Oh, stop being such a big baby and let go of the door.
So not having seen the original movie didn't hurt my enjoyment of this episode. In fact, it made me want to track down that movie to see what it was about. And now The Wolfman is one of my favorite movies of all time. Now having seen The Wolfman and all of its sequels, this episode becomes that much funnier. Because Larry Talbot is not an evil person. He is a deeply tragic character.
Look, Father, I was caught in a trap tonight. I don't know how I got there. The old gypsy woman helped me get away. Now they're all out hunting for me.
Listen to me. You're Lawrence Talbot. This is Talbot Castle. You believe those men can come in here and take you out?
No. I'll go out to them. I can't help myself.
And the plot of this episode of him wanting to be cured, That's basically the plot to every Wolfman movie. Adding on top of it, if you know anything about the production of these movies and the fact that poor Lon Chaney Jr. was basically really tortured while making them, it makes it that much more darkly funny because you're like, God, hasn't this poor bastard suffered enough? Please, Freakazoid, leave him alone. The context of knowledge of the source material makes the comedy of the episode that much funnier, but you don't need it to still find it enjoyable.
Yeah. That was John McCann wrote that. And Mitch Schauer actually did the voice of the Wolfman of Lon Chaney. And I forget, is that the episode where what was her name? Maria Openskaya comes in, and she was the old woman. And who will give me car fare?
It is said that even a computer nerd who says his prayers at night and makes redundant backups on his mirror drive may become a Freakazoid when the delete key is hit.
Behold, the mark.
Will you stop grabbing me? That was just an imprint from a bottle of Delete Cola.
Argue about this on your own time. Who will give me car fare?
She always does this. Don't give her anything.
I heard that. Fine. I curse you, I curse you, I curse you. Goodbye.
I love that.
Exactly. That's just such a great lampooning of such a mystical and wise character, derailing her entire purpose for existence by having her ask for something so banal.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of joke perfectly encapsulates the insanity and genius behind Freakazoid.
Yes.
It might not have been the longest lasting of the SPTRC shows, but it left a much larger than life impact on millions of fans around the world, including me. So I think that's a good place to end things. So Paul, thank you for coming on today to talk with us, but also for playing such a large role in all these great shows, and especially Freakazoid.
It's been a really fun time. Thank you, Andrew.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our conversation with Paul. And if you did, I highly recommend you check out some of the other interviews that I've done. I've done a lot of cool ones with the creators and cast and crew for Courage the Cowardly Dog, The Adventures of Pete and Pete, and writers for Johnny Quest and Scooby-Doo, among many others. Till next time, I'm Andrew Wass for Second Rate Film School, and always remember how fun it is to, say it with me now, hug bees.
Hug bees!
Hug bees! Hug bees!
Moose.
And now, a shot of a busy freeway.